All right. So now, after the platforms and ecosystems discussions, we move on to the future of work. And for my first report, we'll tackle the topic on our work from anywhere future. So from this is from the 2021 HBR article written by Raj Chaudhry. So mm, to start, you know that with the advancement in personal technology, laptops, cell phones, and digital connectivity with the internet and mobile internet, people had begun to ask, do we really need to be together in an office to do our work? And then in 2020, the pandemic happened, and we all were kind of forced to work from home. And we learned that many of us don't, in fact, need to be in the office on site to do our jobs. But the question still remains, is remote organizations the future of knowledge work? Is work from anywhere here to stay? Of course, there are advantages and disadvantages. And our presentation today provides a guide for organizations who are considering the work from anywhere program. Okay, so to start, we discuss a bit of a history. So there was a transition from traditional co-located work to remote work in the 1970s when there was an increase in gasoline prices due to the 1973 OPEC oil embargo, which made commuting expensive. It sounds familiar, right? Because that's what's happening right now for us. And those policies allow people to work in their homes or co working spaces and other community locations, such as libraries, coffee shops, or anywhere that they can do their work. And the adoption of work from home increased in the 2000s thanks to the advancement of personal computers, internet, email, broadband connectivity, laptops, cell phones. And research has shown the performance benefits. Like in the 2015 study by Nicholas Bloom, it was concluded that employees who opted to work from home increased their productivity by 13%. And 9 months later, the same employees were given a choice to either work from home or at the office. And those who chose to work from home improved by more than 22% in performance. So this suggests that people should decide where they want to work because those who really want to work from home are even more productive. And now, in the recent years, many companies have allowed employees to work from home. The companies mentioned are part of the study conducted for this article. So, USPTO, or the United States Patent and Trademark Office, launched a work from anywhere program in 2012, and their work from home policies mandated their workers to the office once a week, and their WFA program requires employees to work at their headquarters for 2 years, and then after that they can work from anywhere. And then the second one is TCS, or Tata Consulting Services. They adopted a 25-25 model where the employees spend only 25% of their working hours in the office, and at no point there will be more than 25% of workers co-located at the same time. And then last, we have GitLab. So they totally eliminated offices altogether, and all their employees are spread out across more than 60 countries. And it's also worth mentioning, right, that here in the Philippines, our country has become the BPO industry capital of the world in 2010 with over 500,000 employees that generated 8.9 billion revenue. And so this is not, since the study is from the United States, we also try to relate it what we have here in the Philippines as we go throughout this presentation. Okay, so now we explore the benefits of work from anywhere. So we look into its impact for individuals, for organizations, and for society. So we start with the benefits for individuals. So work from anywhere allows them to the freedom to live anywhere in the world. For those in dual career situations, for example, especially in the US, is quite common, right? Because they have to work two jobs. And now they are no longer limited to a single location because they can take as much work as they can remotely. And another example is a wife of a military who is forced to relocate every time. But with work from anywhere, she can have her own career and she can bring it anywhere her husband's work takes her. And also here in the Philippines, we know that there are resorts, right, that are offering long stay packages to guests who want to work from home for their facilities. I've seen this in Cebu, Bohol, Siargao, and even Boracay, and even overseas. And then next, one of the benefits also of work from anywhere is better quality of life. Now, for here, we look into families. They can move closer together to be with their extended families. Especially in the Philippines, we're very close to our extended families. We can choose to live in the province and still work our jobs that are located in Manila, and we can still have the benefits of living with our parents to take care of our children, and that is also equates to a better life. And if not for the family, you can choose a location where you have a better climate, better views. If you want to live in a colder climate, like in the Philippines, say Baguio, or in a beach somewhere near Manila or even far away. And millennials are said to be captivated by the idea of digital nomads that are traveling the world while still employed. And like I said earlier, there are some countries like Estonia and Barbados that have created a new class of employment visa for such workers, that so that you can easily apply for a visa in their country while you're working there. And this is part of their strategy to invite more travelers, to more tourists to boost their economy. And another benefit is the cost of living. So companies like USPTO in the US, they did not adjust the salaries of their employees according to where they want to work. So all their salaries are still based from their pay grade in the company and not necessarily where they choose to live. So for example, you want to some locations in the United States such as Vermont and Oklahoma have made efforts to attract remote workers. So imagine in San Francisco, a two-bedroom apartment is like $4,000. But in Tulsa, Oklahoma, it's just $600. And if we look at it from the Philippines perspective, it's like comparing the cost of living in, say, Makati or BGC, where a one-bedroom condo can cost up to 10 to 20 million pesos, which can get you a decent house and lot in the province, and maybe even more. And finally, work from anywhere also helps knowledge workers deal with immigration issues and other restrictions on their ability to secure jobs. So in the United States, other cities enable workers to bypass the US visa and the green card system by obtaining fast track work permits from Canada's global talent stream so that they can continue to serve companies and clients in the United States while they are living in Canada. So they don't have to apply for the visas to be able to work for companies such as companies from the United States. And it's also quite similar to what is happening right now in the Philippines, where the workers don't need to actually go to the US to be able to get companies, US companies or clients to work from them. And it doesn't have it can they can freelance or they can go through US companies, but the idea is that they can still work from anywhere. So that is the benefits for the individuals. So we move on to the benefits for the organizations. So one of the benefits in work from anywhere is the increase in employee engagement, which is an important metric in the success of a company. So USPTO was ranked highest on best places to work in federal government survey after implementing their WFA policies. And workers are not only happier, but they're also more productive. It is shown in a study conducted by USPTO where WFA boosted individual productivity by 4.4%. And some of the more obvious benefits for organizations is, of course, there are fewer office spaces, which means lower reduced real estate costs for the company because they don't have to accommodate their workers. They don't need equipment and in the office, and they don't need to pay for utility bills, and they don't need to pay for maintenance workers. And this also allows organizations to expand their talent pool by not being limited to workers within their vicinity. So, for example, if let's say in the Philippines, uh, we don't, a company doesn't have to look for employees within Metro Manila or nearby provinces. They can look for talents from Cebu. And I know companies that do this, they look for talents in Bacolod or even Davao, and they don't have to relocate to be able to work for the company. So the company itself is not limited to the workers that they can employ. And this also goes the same for the United States, where they can employ workers from different countries that has the talent that they need. In fact, it is said that in Eastern Europe, there's a large supply of skilled financial analysts and data scientists. That's why they're taking on this benefit for their company. And then finally, WFA can reduce attrition. Of course, since workers are satisfied, they're happy, they're productive, they're getting what they need in the WFA program, they no longer need to move to another company, especially if it means they have to work in the office. So for GitLab's all remote model, the net benefit they believe is equal to $18,000 a year for each employee. So imagine the benefits for all their employees and how much GitLab is already saving for it. I think we also have GitLab here in the Philippines. We're one of the 60 countries that have remote workers from their company. Okay. So finally, we move on to the benefits of society. I'm sorry. So, first, work from anywhere can reverse the brain drain. And that is a problem for emerging markets, small towns and rural towns, even in countries like the Philippines. We know that a lot for a time period, a lot of our workers move abroad as OFWs to have better salaries, better jobs. But because of the possibilities of work from anywhere, workers in the Philippines can choose to stay. They don't have to leave, but they still get the dollar salaries with the low cost of living in the Philippines. And in that way, the country, the society keeps the workers, and they also earn from the taxes of the employee. And in relation to the United States, so for example, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, they actually offer $10,000 for workers who want to relocate to the city. And they take advantage of this by having the workers participate in their community programs. For example, they can teach the locals, they can participate in charities, and that's the benefit that they get for aside from the $10,000 just by living in Tulsa for them. And then another benefit is that it helps the environment. Of course, if people don't have to go to the office, it eliminates the commute, the gas emissions. So that is one of a great benefits for the society. And now we move on to the WFA challenges and how to address them. So first is in relation to communication, brainstorming, and problem solving. So when workers are distributed
synchronous communication becomes difficult, especially when they're working in different time zones. So you know that, of course, if you're working in Asia and your client is in the United States, but you want to work on Asian time, and then you have another coworker in the European countries. So how do you schedule a meeting so that everyone will be able to attend during the time that they're awake? And that is a common problem for work from anywhere. And even in the United States, in the change in time zones can also impact their work schedules. So, the solution provided here is to get comfortable or adopt asynchronous communication, just like what we have in school, right? This could mean group chats or online documents, or where employees can leave messages and members from different time zones can respond at the first opportunity. This could also mean adopting to a culture of emails, phone calls, and meetings. So it's just a matter of changing old habits, especially at the early stages of onboarding for the work from anywhere program. So that can help address the challenges of communication. And then next is the knowledge sharing. So since employees are not located in the same office, they can't just tap the shoulder of their coworker and ask for help or ask what they're going to do with this problem. And the solution that we have here is to have transparent and easily accessible documentation. So this is already pretty common in the BPO industry, since our companies are based in the United States, our clients are based in the United States, and um, the workers often change over time. So documentation is one of the key solutions that we have there, because transition will be easier and communication will be easier. Everything is documented. So that way, when you need some information, you just have to go to the common database where we can access the documents that we need in order to resolve the problems that we have. And of course, this can be considered as extra work, because if you're in the office, you just tap the shoulder of your coworker and you already have the answer. But having to be able to create documents, it could take also skills in documentation and, of course, organization skills. But that's one of the trade offs. And I think it's a small one compared to the benefits that you'll get for the work from anywhere program. And another solution for this is to have video seminars, presentations, and meetings that are pre recorded and that individuals can view asynchronously when at the time that is most convenient for them. And another major worry for the WFA is for people to feel isolated and disconnected from their colleagues, since they don't see each other, they don't really know each other, especially if it's full remote and they don't even get to meet their coworkers when they join until they leave the company. And this can cause for some people to feel cut off from information that they would normally get if they're in the office, even just office gossip. But of course, they can't get through that if they're working remotely. So also another challenge here is managers can't do personal check-ins with their employees, and they may miss out seeing if their employees are already burnt out or there's a dysfunction in the team that the manager is um, responsible for. So, to address this concern, it is recommended for companies to help facilitate interactions among the employees. So, this could be virtual, using AI or other virtual reality tools to conduct activities, even just weekly chats or interactions between the employees of different hierarchical levels. So, for example, a CEO can conduct a training or a program or that is pre-recorded, and he can answer questions that will be left by the employees. And on a similar way, even managers or even the low-level employees can also be able to share what they want to. If they had the facilities and the programs to be able to share what they want. And another solution, aside from the virtual programs, is to actually organize gatherings for the employees. It could be once a month, once a week, or even once a year, depending on how possible it is for the employees of the company. But it could already be a big help, just being able to see the actual person. It doesn't necessarily have to be the person that they're teammates with or they're closely working with. Just to be able to talk to a person that is working for the same company, you already have that in common and you already feel attached, and that could help boost the morale of the employees. And so the next problem here is how do we rate the and review employees that you do not physically see? So this is for performance evaluation and compensation, right? So usually employees are evaluated based on their output, their quality of interactions, and feedbacks from their clients and colleagues. So, companies use different approaches. Some use software to track worker activity. I know this because we do this a lot. And then there are other IT organization tools. So, this is actually an area where further research can still be done to evaluate the best approach to address the concern, because I believe it's still a problem for most of the companies. um, and then lastly, we have data security and regulation. So cybersecurity, of course, is one of the biggest focus for WFA programs and organizations. So that because the employees that are working from anywhere also have access to the data of the company and the company's clients. So the question is, how do you protect the information that the company has if the employee themselves can can get those data anywhere? So for TCS, they transitioned from perimeter based to transaction based security, where instead of securing every device, they use machine learning program algorithms to track unusual activities in the employees. So imagine if for example, you're working from somewhere, not in the office, even just from home, and you bring home an office laptop, and of course, the company is going to secure that laptop as much as they can. We use VPNs and secured internet. And then, aside from securing the laptop, they also try to secure all the transactions that are coming in and out of your machine. So, if there's anything that is out of place, they can flag it and they can report it, and you have to explain why there was flag on your activity. So that way, they're able to protect the sensitive data of the company and the clients. So for other organizations, they also experiment with different solutions that are being offered in the market today, especially to cater to the customers that are exploring the work from anywhere. There's predictive analytics, data visualization, and even computer vision to control this. Okay, so in conclusion, and I guess the final question that we want to answer is if work from anywhere is right for your organization. So for manufacturing companies, it may not be possible, right? Because of course the manufacturing employees need to be there to manufacture the goods or the products. But it could change with the advancement of 3D printing, automation, and other technologies. And large mature organizations can also transition to a hybrid remote model. Doesn't have to necessarily be full remote from anywhere. But I guess the real question is not whether work from anywhere is possible, but what is needed to make it possible. And based on this presentation, we know that if leaders can support synchronous and asynchronous communication, brainstorming, and problem solving, and lead initiatives to codify knowledge online, such as documentations, and encourage virtual socializations, team buildings, and mentorings, and also if they invest in data security and work with government stakeholders, all organizations may indeed emerge as the future of work. That's all. Thank you.